streamline basically what's going on. We'll get the links other states get compensation 11 months after. A video of an American missionary in Benue State. And it was so sad. He had come into Nigeria to build the market in your water. That was over and sent to people in Benue, they hadn't gotten it. So he even says, let me build a market. But the government is like, oh no, he said that they were blocking him from building the market. What was shocking to him, he said he got a deal of 300 million naira to build, but the government said they were going to do it themselves. And he's like, you guys are going to build it yourselves, you're going to build it yourselves. I want to build it. And okay, now a bill of 300 million, where reality it will not even take 50 to 60 million naira to build what is going on. So even in Ogun, is it Ogun State? State, part of the bomb blast that happened in was it a bomb blast? In all states 2-3 years ago, Makinde and is it Fayemi? I think no, not Makinde. Who's the cousin of all states? No, and Fayemi had been having back and forth about the 50 million that was sent to the people in Ibadan to compensate. We say we never see them. So I don't know. This is becoming a pandemic. Where it's looking like something happens, money is sent to relieve the people who are going through these things, yet the money doesn't get to them. In the we also have 2027 now 3,000 senators scuttled real-time transmission of election resources. Of election results, beg your pardon. Next $1.5 billion refinery failure proves my privatization call right, says article. You know what? I think and we were like, so we mean that money has just the money didn't go, the money went somewhere. So there was it's not okay. I'm just going to move on. In the flags 92 fraudulent projects under the Tinubu administration. Next up, we have Nigerian lawmakers, says David Mag. Says on this for a very long time. Says who? The Nation newspaper Bank of Industry secures CBN approval to operate non-interest banking window. Finally, Nation newspaper, we have 8.7 billion naira fraud. New job takes over Malami and two others trial. We're moving on to the newspaper where we have network failure. Network failure will affect e-transmission. That Akpabio said, and then Max does that for him. So Akpabio came up to say, no, my affect e-transmission. The man said, let them be the ones to talk about it. So they did for the Electoral Act amendment. Last week, we have Abia types title after allocating 210 million naira for photocopy. So, 10 million naira for photocopier. And an other state is blaming typo. Audio, we're done. Next, things that happen in our government or when we see these things happening that we're like, yeah, people must take us to be fools because somebody saw this thing and brought it up. If nobody it will have flown. Intentionally, you cannot even 1 million. It cannot be okay. Time not to 10 abi 21 for the copier. I'm sorry. So anyway, Tinubu is dwarf in Nigerian history, says Buhari's estimate that long. Monday price shine. So tells traders. Moving on to the Tribune newspaper, we have stakeholders seek establishment of special court which will regard FGM. Last name which will be newspaper presidency confirmed state visit to the United Kingdom. This morning we have something market again. Well, all I was the fact that our mechanic was going to go to Ladipo tomorrow. Yes, he came on Saturday to fix the car, and the car they still that so he has to return the car. So let me just send hugs to my husband because he's going to be so upset, and we don't know when this is going to be open because Mr. Sunday back to the market. I don't know if it's God. Sunday Oshikoya is dead. Because as we caught our eye this morning. But before we go back, welcome our analyst this morning. Good morning, Emmanuel. How are you?
Good morning, Fumi. How are you doing? And how was your weekend? Hope it was a splendid one.
It was short. We do right here. We moved.
Well, thank God for life. At least you're here. It was okay. Thank God, Sha.
You shall thank God. Fashion, we're in the week of love. What's your plan for the week of love?
I'm in the Boski policy. I'm a man of war.
Yeah, at the WFM 917, I'm ignoring Emmanuel. Solicitors will go by our website www.wfm917.com. Our phone lines will be open shortly 07000 917 917 or 917 917 or call our toll-free line 01235 917. You can text or WhatsApp us. I'm ignoring you. 8155 917 917 or 0703 1756 57. Emmanuel, our first headline. You did not give me a political answer with regard to your military.
I didn't give you a political answer. I said I'm a man of war. I'm in the Boski policy, but to be sincere, I have a wedding I have to attend this weekend.
I'm really upset with people when they say, "Oh, I don't have plans for Valentine's Day because I have a wedding." I don't get okay, but don't you? I need to. I could be a wedding roadie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a morning to an evening affair that will start for me on Friday, and I have to be there. One of my closest friends is actually.
Yeah, take it out on Sunday. Please.
You are planning my life for me, and part of the reason why I owed you in a haste.
This morning, the Senate came out with the Electoral Act, and one of the things that they said that results will not be streamed live in real time. And then there was backlash on social media. Senate President that said, "Oh no, that's what I said, that's what I said." But then he has now changed his mouth and he has said, "I did not say that. I guess we're not going to transmit the results. Is that you record the results, we will give you." And the outrage is still continuous. He's now saying, okay. It's not that I will not say that. What I'm saying is that we're not going to transmit live. He's citing network failure and network errors. And one of the things I said last week, I don't remember which analyst I was saying this to, was that they had 4 years to plan for this. Do you know I was in Nigeria? Yes, it's not going to be the festival with last. I don't think that some you will say in the public challenges. They've had 4 years. Okay, this is 4 years. They've had 4 years to speak, to plan. 3 years, then 3rd year to plan the next one. That's in 2023. Did they do an appraisal? What worked? What didn't work? How to plan for the 2027 elections? So for me, I'm just like, I'm knowing that you saying, oh, network error and request for result was one of the things that affected the elections in 2023, where they said the rivers was hanging. Oh, they were hanging in Oshobo. Oh, they were hanging in Lagos. Oh, they were hanging in Abuja. Oh, it was not hanging there. I mean, what, like, is this? I'm going to let you just speak.
I think we should let me put a proper context to this. I'm not saying they cannot do electronic transmission of votes. The Senate, that's why you see David Mark telling Akpabio that the job of the Senate is to make law. Let INEC determine whether that can be done. The background to this was as a result of what happened during the 2023 general elections at the tribunal, where Obi and PDP alleged that results were not transmitted in real time. And don't forget that during that time, Mahmoud Yakub was over the moon saying that they are going to have electronic transmission of votes in real time, whereby you can monitor as polling unit votes were coming in and you can tally it at your end. Now, let me put a caveat to this so that we get it right. When we mean electronic transmission of votes, it means that the sheets recording the results based on political parties and signed by all political party agents and the polling unit officer will be snapped and uploaded in real time. That was done in some places. That was not done in some places. And we saw some polling unit results sheet later on the portal that look as if you are teaching a nursery to pupil right essay and all that. So what really happened is not the fact that I said they cannot transmit votes electronically. What happened was the fact that the courts rely on what is in the Constitution. And that is not judgmental, because what was in the Electoral Act of 2022 as amended was the fact that votes will be transferred, not transmitted electronically. The English word, the clause there was used by the courts to make judgments. So, peradventure, maybe when they were, those that uploaded, when they were uploading, you saw that you were winning. But then when they did the calculation, you saw that you lost. You cannot rely on what's on that portal yet, based on the fact that there has not been a complete transfer on the portal. What caused the headache? And the court referred them that you can, if this is included, then electronic transmission of votes will stand as evidence in court on what is on the portal real time. Now you have to know that an average Nigerian politician is way ahead on how to win elections. Electronic transmission of votes is not due to network. It is not the job of the Senate to say that there is no network. Let me say this. When votes are uploaded, it stays on the device. When you move to an area that there is network, automatically it uploads itself. Let's say I'm coming from an area in Ogun State that doesn't have network as a polling unit officer. I've done my job. Agents have signed on the I've uploaded, but it's not yet on the server. By the time I'm getting close to where network is and I can receive signal, you can't tell me that local government collation center don't have signals, because we have different collation centers before it gets to the state collation centers. By the time I'm going with my results to my ward collation center or my collation center, it will have uploaded already. And then you can now tally the correct sheets that they are abracadabra on, that 20 has not turned to 2,000 and 2,000 has turned to 2. You cannot compare both sheets. So in uploading, I have APC 200, ADC 250 or ADC 150, anyhow you want to put it. It is already on the server. So getting to where abracadabra is done, you cannot start painting and repainting. So what they are saying is that, Akwabi is saying that, we will do transfer of votes. See, the transfer of votes, most Nigeria thinks that elections are being rigged at the polling unit. I argue this a lot of time because I've even been at polling unit. Elections are not necessarily being rigged at polling units. What is being done at polling unit is voters produced to ensure that the rigging is well, okay. When voters are being induced with cash and all to vote, then you have high margin. So rigging is very easy for you. But when you don't have a high margin, you have to do the cancellation. Election rigging is done most times when there is the transfer of results from the polling unit to another level. That is when you see magic being done and different votes being recorded. So what Akpabio was saying, that they will do transfer of votes, they know what they are saying. And it is now left for Nigerians to accept whether they would be taken for granted, or they would demand electoral reform. Electoral reform that does not come with adoption of technology is not really a reform. It is taking us back to the Stone Age. If you are telling us that a country as big as Nigeria, forward technologically as we like to live, cannot transmit votes in 90% of its location, then I ask terrorists upload on TikTok and all. The other day, the minister that ought to be for digital promotion was his office, Bosun Tijani, came and was saying that, they use Elon Musk stuff to do, and I'm like, I don't even get this technology, and it's a shame you are saying it on public TV. Telling us that you are not not complaining. I've seen when a law is made, for example, if they say that under police must not do stop and search again, I'm just saying. Now, it is not left of Nigerian police force to find a way to adapt mechanism to ensure that they obey that provision of the law while still carrying out their fundamental duty. So when you pass electronic transmission of votes, it is not left for us to adopt it, adapt to it, and ensure that votes are transmitted electronically. Maybe they don't know who to do it, and maybe they still have people in the system who, when you tell them you will save on cloud, they will ask you, what will happen to savings when it rains? Maybe those are the people that are still in office. They need to get some of these young tech boys to come in and enlighten them. And I'm sure most of them are enlightened. But an average Nigerian politician is looking at the easy way of getting back into office. Do you know that if they are not up to date with how election transmission of votes goes, they might lose? Because it now requires adaptation again by political class to see how they get over the system. They want to always get over the system. So saying that they are going to do transfer, and then you are now referring us back to 2022 Electoral Act, that we should adopt and take what is there. If we want the 2022 Electoral Act, we will not be shouting for an amendment by this time. Because see, election must improve from a particular time to another. If election process is not improving, then there is no need for the people to vote. People must trust that their votes will reflect. So there has been speculation that the emergency session called tomorrow by 12 noon is for them to voting over it and move and do all these things. But the backdrop of that is there was a meeting between the Speaker, the Senate President, APC Chairman, and the President. Every political party wants to be ahead of what is happening. And one thing that might happen tomorrow, don't be surprised, is that they might put this thing into votes. And don't forget, 99.5% of time, the yes will always have it, even when the nays is the loudest. I don't know whether there is a sound barrier, but you'll be on TV and then you will hear nays, but the years will have it. And have been clamoring for individual voting pattern or voting mechanism in the House and in the Senate, so that we can know the members who are voting yeas and nays, and then their name can be published, just as is done in developed worlds. But because they want to do hide and seek, they will adopt the open voting method, yeas and nays, and even when nays is the largest, the yeas will have it. So we might see that kind of scenario play out, asking them that, let's look at it. If all the procedures that were agreed has been answered, kindly say let's say yea and nays, and then you see yea and then shout nays, and then the yeas have it. So it's going to be a long process, but I can only hope that we have an Electoral Act that will aid electoral process to ensure that an average Nigerian right is reviewed when he or she casts votes at a particular election cycle. But it's going to be a long journey, because the people that have been in office through crooked ways would not want something that will take them out of office. While others who know that they came into office in a powerful way would also want something and win based on the fact that people want you. It's a process we want, and then we want it to be very seamless. So let's see what will happen tomorrow. But don't forget, there are a lot of bills that we make noise and we're shouting about, and today we don't really have them in place yet. They are trying to say that no, let the 10th Assembly finish, so that people are saying that the was. But in Nigeria say that you people are not living up to expectation. There's no place in the Constitution that says that a legislature must carry out constituency projects. Yours is to formulate law. Yours is to ensure that legislative process is smooth. Yours is to create laws for Nigerians. But now what we focus on in legislative is constituency projects. Bastardization of legislation. Until we get the process right, it is going to be a whole lot. Civil society, Nigeria Labour Congress, people are saying electoral act, electronic transmission of votes, which people believe should even be one of the easiest clause. But the clause seems to be giving some people headache. And if we are retaining transfer of votes, we are still using the old method, whereby you don't need a porter. Because what will happen is that I only need votes transfer from the polling unit to the word sheet, from the word sheet to the other sheet, from the other sheet to the other sheet. So I only need those. I don't need to see what is online at a particular time. So it's not that people will wake up and start recording APC 200. No, it's that sheet that is signed that will be snapped and then uploaded. So if you are telling us that 90% of Nigeria is not covered with network, I don't think we need to have Ministry of Digital Communication, digital or something that we have. I think at this point we just know that we are living in the Stone Age, and then adapt ourselves to Stone Age communication, and then see how that will work for us. But I think it is not the job of the Senate to determine whether INEC can transmit votes electronically or transfer. Theirs is to make law that will ensure there is credible, free election, and that the dividends of democracy will be seen by the people.
Seen by the people. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Let's take some messages. Right about now, we are 1 minute after 8 this morning. The phone lines are now open, so you can call in to make your contributions. Soludo did it, and we are all praising him. Any means through which peace is restored to the Southeast should be welcomed by all sincere people. I wonder why some people feel that the destruction of lives and property in Igbo land is a good omen. I'm happy for my Igbo brothers and sisters' freedom at last. That is from Olusoga Ajay. Thanks so much for your message. This one says, "Good morning and brand new week to you all in the studio. Akpabio and Co telling Nigerians that there are no networks in 9 states. I now ask, are there no representatives and governors in those states? Are there no networks in their pockets and bank accounts on daily basis? What a confused group of people called rulers and not leaders. We have been fooled enough by these wicked politicians. Many killings going on in Nigeria today are almost APC controlled states. After telling Nigerians that they are defecting to APC so that they can secure the states, by the end, what is the result now? Who is fooling who, please? Nigerians, please wake up from your slumber and take your country back before it is too late for you and me. APC, INEC, the judiciary, and Nigerians will dig it come 2027. Oh God, arise and trouble those who are troubling Nigerians. Mayor from Ikotun Egbe. Next up, we have morning to you in the studio. This insecurity has taken a new dimension. Closing of markets, schools, and motor parks cannot stop insecurity until we do the needful by restructuring the country. Let us decentralize everything, starting from security. Let each state have their police with their own sophisticated weapons. The decentralization of everything will not give us any positive solution. Why are we doing the same thing the same way and expect different results? And my question this morning is, who is afraid of restructuring this country? We can't wait for central police. So every one of us is killed. Over 150 people killed in Kwara last week. Is this not worrisome for us as a country? Please restructure the country now and let the state that is willing to establish state police do so. This is from Additional Wasiu in the corridor. Emmanuel, what do you think about what Additional is saying about decentralizing, the police and different things in Nigeria?
Well, that is what federalism is all about.
Mm-hmm.
If you are practicing federalism, you need to have unit of government decentralized. And I think we need that. But the fear of the people is the fact that we, how will I put it? We are afraid of those who want to give power to.
Right.
You want to give powers to some governors, Jesus. There's not going to be any opposition.
Mm.
You want to give powers to some people who have colonized the state. Oh my God, oppositions will suffer. So that has been the problem. But I think decentralization is a feature of federalism. And for you to have federalism, our federalism is more like we are practicing a unitary system of government where power is centralized and is choked in the center. And that is not a feature of federalism. So I think that is a real problem. And let's see whether there's going to be decentralization. We are still fighting on state police. And when you look at some issues that happen, a state governor cannot actually give command for deployment of troops or of police. They answer to the central government. And though you call a state governor, chief security officer, they collect security votes, they are no chief security officer anywhere because they don't control the police. The commissioner of police answers to the IG or the DIG or DIG, their hierarchy, and the IG answers to the president. So you look at our architecture, security architecture, and the way everything is operated, we claim we are having federalism, but I think since Gowon's government, when I say Gowon, Igosi's government, when the military came on board, we abolished the true federalism, and then we are doing more like a unitary system of government.
All right. Okay. The next morning, which is from the Daily Trust newspaper. Knocks for Tinubu for attending wedding without visiting Kwara massacre victims. One of the things that I had mentioned last week, I think it was on Friday, Thursday or Friday, I had said that when the Kwara State governor had brought army chiefs, speaking to people about what's going on in Kwara and all of that. And I said, I'm actually looking for where he went into the communities to speak to people. Maybe there was, I haven't seen, so I stand to be corrected. But then we now see that the president had said when that tragic situation happened, had said, "Oh, I'm calling on this or I'm calling on that." But at no point in time did he address us as a nation with regards this. But then we're seeing him go for a wedding. Are people right in calling people to say, "Sir, what are you doing? How are you going to a wedding when you didn't go to Kwara State to go and speak to people who were killed?" And to understand that he had sent the vice president, yes, to Kwara State, yes. However, it's not the same as you going, because how do you get up going for a wedding when you should have gone to Kwara State? Also understand that this tragic incident happened in the course of 10 hours, and no military personnel was sent there. They were calling for help and all of that. Don't you think that are people justified in their anger or in their outrage to say that, "Sir, it's like your priorities are sort of like skewed"? What would you say, Emmanuel?
The distance between Lagos and Ilorin, I think, is about 200 and something kilometers. The distance between Kayama local government and Ilorin, the state capital, is almost equals to that. I think it's about 250 kilometers.
Okay.
So I'm trying to paint a scenario to you to know where the situation happened. So the distance
Sorry,
between
again, distance from Lagos to where?
Ilorin is about 200 and something kilometers.
Okay.
While the distance from Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to Kayama local government, where the incident happened, is almost the same number of
As
kilometers.
distance from Lagos to Ilorin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when then we've not even spoken about Woro. Is it Woro, or how did you pronounce the name of the village? Which is close and close to Niger State, shares a border with Niger State, very close to Niger State, and also a little bit close to Oyo. If you remember on this program, I was saying a few weeks back that if the insecurity situation in Kwara North is not nipped in the bud, there is high probability that it's going to spread to Oyo. And I mentioned it to you that they are going to come into Kayama local government.
You did.
Because Kayama is closer to Kanji Game Reserve Park. I think that's where we have the Chika and Dakosu Bosu border or something, which is closer. And the River Niger flows through this area. And if you remember, trade in the olden days comes through River Line. And even the discovery by Mungo Park came through River Niger. And there are islands in those forest reserve that most people, these guys, hibernate and stay in. That is why Bogu local government, which houses Kanji Game Reserve, has been a safe haven for these terrorists. And they came from there to attack that community. So speaking on whether the Kwara State governor, yes, the Kwara State governor visited the community, visited Kayama, but I think he arrived midnight on the second day of the incident, because he had to travel from Ilorin, bad roads and all. And I think if you ask people who travel to Kayama local government, traveling within those villages is very hard because of bad roads. So he did visit. But did the CNC, I mean the commander-in-chief, visit? The question is very simple. Attack in Benue. He went to Benue, was not able to go to the community. They said the road was bad and there was flooding or something on the road. Since he became president, and we've had number of attacks, how many has he visited? If you can give me 10%, then I will criticize him for not going to Kwara State. But if you cannot give me up to 5% of attacks that has happened and places he has visited, then you should know that he doesn't visit. Rather, he sends his vice president. And I'm just being sincere, because if someone doesn't have antecedent of doing all these things, and then you want to criticize him for not going to a state, I think it's unfair on the person. So yeah, it might sound as if I've been sarcastic, but I think it's just unfair. If I'm someone that, oh, this happened, they've seen me in Oyo, they've seen me in Kogi, they've seen me everywhere. And then they say that, oh, you didn't go to Kwara, you were at a wedding. I think I would tell the people, you have a right to be angry. But you've not even seen me anywhere and saying that I went to a wedding. So it is not a benchmark that he has left down to be visiting places where attacks happen. So we spoke about federalism the other time. Do you know what happened? Despite the Kwara State governor traveling to that far axis of the state, he still had to travel to Abuja to go and brief the president in his office that people have been killed in Kwara State. An attack happened in this village in Kayama. It took response 10 hours. And then the president say, okay, we are detaching a battalion to the place. Don't forget that one of our most active air assets is around that area. The Super Tucano, the Alpha jets, they're around that area. That's the operating base. And if you take them how many minutes to fly over, fly around and all. And you can't blame the military. The military has stretched thin. In any society, the military is not meant for internal conflict. It is because the police has not been able to curtail what was happening internally. Now we've done deployment, and it is now normal for us to see military deployment internally. Unless the decision is critical, you don't see deployment. We deploy military like police now. And that is stretching the military, because even if you look at our size, we are not up to 500,000. They are not 500,000. And then they are doing Operation Andikai, Operation Whirlwind. They started Savannah on there. They are in Kogi. They are everywhere. So something is fundamentally wrong, and we are not getting it. But for those criticizing the president that he didn't go to Kwara, I asked them. I've seen him in January. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying.
If I don't take soft drink, and then they say that, oh, they are doing bonanza for soft drink, and then you ask, why is Emmanuel not there? Are you being fair to Emmanuel?
That analogy doesn't work. I'm sorry. It doesn't work because I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, is it not out of place? Is it not out of place that the president shouldn't visit places that have been ravaged by terrorists? Like, doesn't that show that, oh, he's really, really concerned? Because I ask this because he keeps on saying, oh, I've deployed this to there, but we're not really seeing actionable. There's a way you come and visit, be like, oh, the father of the nation came to check on me. I don't know. That's how I think a lot of people are seeing it. Oh, the father of the nation came. So I don't think it's only a Kwara thing, is that he's not even been going in the first instance, yes. But in this last, then because you remember when the Brno one happened, he was going to travel to South Africa for the what was this he was going to go for an event, but instead he didn't go, he stayed back, right? So at least that one we saw a little bit of compassion.
He didn't stay back. That was when there was rumor of coup d'etat and all. If you notice, between September last year and December, he didn't travel out. And people were like, he didn't travel because he came back and
he will go and come back and they've already taken the position from him.
So that was when there was rumors of coup d'etat.
Right, you are correct.
So he had to be on ground. Even UN Assembly, Shettima, sending Shettima up and down. He has to be on ground. He has to take charge so that democracy is preserved. And that was something he did because he didn't do his normal foreign trip then. So that is a different.
People didn't see that way. Even I didn't see that way. I just said that, oh, he was commiserating with Borno State, Kwara State. Wow. Anyway, okay, I got you. I want us to take the last one. This one is from the Vanguard newspaper, and I mean, very, very interesting one. The Igbo group demands ban on living history textbook. The Igbo community in association in Abuja has called on federal government to ban a history textbook called Living History for junior secondary schools. Why? Over its alleged exclusion of Igbo history. Now, I'll take you back to when I was in primary school. When I was in primary school, I did history in primary school, but I'm trying to remember if I did the war, not the war, the Biafra or the Civil War in Nigeria when I was in primary school. I think I knew more about the Civil War from my parents. My mom was telling me, I remember she told me that when she was in this was when she was in secondary school, that they taught them how to run, they dive into gutters in case there was mishap and things like that. And I think I've always wondered, okay, why these people? Why these people? My next or my proper education was self-education with regards to it. I read 2 books. The first book was Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Adichie, and then the second one was There Was a Country by Chinua Achebe. Yes, and that was when I really, really knew about what happened with the Igbo group and everything. But right now, that I think at a point, history was erased from studies. Yes, it was, and then it was brought back later on. But then having a history book that doesn't have, Igbo history in it, the Igbo Association Committee, they are coming out to say, oh, no, 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 no. Because what you're doing is you're erasing us, and then it's further inciting hatred and resentment against the Igbos and other minority groups. Emmanuel, what would you say about this? Because I believe that, there's this thing they say that if you want to know about something, check the history books. If you ask a random person down the street, they don't even know anything about the Civil War. Some people don't even know that the Civil War occurred in Nigeria. Whether it was bad, whether it was sad, whether it shouldn't have happened, nobody knows. What other people know are things that have been said to them, from their parents, or their parents, and things like that. So, yeah, Emmanuel, over to you.
Ask a random person. I don't want to give you age. Ask a random person, and then they will. Most people don't know history, and they've forgotten that it is true life history. We learn life lesson, and that has been a problem with Nigeria. We've not learned life lesson through our history, and this is where you see all these hate, all this division in place, and it's a wound that time has failed to heal, because what heals wound is accountability. Since we say let's move on with one Nigeria, we've not really sat down to be accountable to one another. We've not really had a conversation on how we can move forward as a country. So what we are saying is the fact that we need to sit down as a nation and drive a course forward. Who writes an history book without writing the whole history of Nigeria? It shows, number one, that the person himself does not know history. See, the people that knows Nigeria history, most of them are dying gradually. And we are not transferring their knowledge into reality. Growing up in different culture, you have ways by which histories are passed down from adult to children. They sit down, they tell you history of your community, they tell you history of your family, they tell you the history of your tribe. Those things have left our society. Parents don't even know history. That's why you go on X sometimes. You see some people saying that, oh, in sport, they might tell you, oh, this is the best this person has played. And I'm looking at them. When did you get involved in this? You got involved in 2010.
We have a call. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Evangelist Dixon. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Emmanuel, I really agree with all you have said. I support. And as you rightly said, even some of us sometimes we don't tell our children the history even of ourselves so that our children can learn. And as you rightly said, those people that know the history, and after they have left, it's going to spare June because we need to learn from the past. I just got to say hello to encourage you. Well done. God bless you. You always do the right thing. I believe we get there one day if we all do the right thing. I believe Nigeria will be great again. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Okay?
Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon, for your message. Yes, please, Emmanuel, go ahead.
So basically, see, what you don't pass around, you don't pass down. I think about 6 or 7 years ago, I sat down with a 95-year-old man as at then. And this man has never been to the walls of any school, and he speaks Queen's English. You know what it means to speak Queen's English? He's wealthy. He was telling us things that happened that even my own parents had no idea of because he was there. And look at that man. That man is no more. I think he died 2 years ago. He's no more. But he died with his knowledge, not transferred in any book.
In any book.
And that is why you see actors now, political actors, are even trying to rewrite history, placing them at the center of all. So it's damning that someone will write history book for Nigerian schools and omit a particular tribe. The person does not know history. Because there's no way you can write history of Nigeria. I think the 3 major tribes play a critical role in the democratic and independent process of Nigeria. You mentioned the Tafawa Balewas of this world. You mentioned the Awolowo of this world, the Nnamdi Azikiwe of this world. You keep mentioning people, even from the Middle Belt, you keep mentioning them. So Nigeria history is not complete without the role of all actors in the independent process of the country and in the developmental process of the country.
Of the country, yes. Mm.
So someone that has written that history book and has been allowed to fly, if I were to be in charge, the officer, the quality assurance officers, all those people that allowed you to fly, by now, they'll be getting their posting out of that office. We can't keep doing things this way. We need to learn life's lesson from history.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what is going to enable us not to make the same mistake we've made in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The path that those before you has followed will become a smooth path for you when you follow it, if you learn from their successes and their failure. But there's no history. Do you know why there's no history? If there is correct history, we will stone some people. And see, every politician now is trying to write a book. Every politician, from governor to minister, my account of stewardship in office, they are trying to paint themselves as part of history, while we left those major players who we should be talking about as part of history. And these ones who have done nothing but ambassadors of poverty are writing history book for us. We have to wake up and ensure that we document the right history so that even those who are coming after us will have something to talk about.
I think,
and it is your action.
Mm-hmm.
It is your action, your impact, what you've done that place you in history, not you placing yourself in history. What we have now is people trying to place themselves in history without no real impact, and that should stop.
I 100% agree with you, because what even came to mind when you were speaking was, if I ask maybe a 30-year-old, let me not say a 40-year-old, a 30-year-old, who King Jaja of Okobo is, they probably do not know. Queen Amina, they probably do not know. And that's because, and you can't really blame them because they did not read about it. I knew about Jaja of Okobo when I was in primary school. In secondary school, that didn't happen. University, that didn't happen. And if you, like what you said about being, even there's even 2 things you said. You talk about the democratic the democratic progress of the country and the development of the country. Those are 2 things, and those things come together to make Nigeria what it is. So from the political aspect, some people don't even know about Femi Awolowo. He's not even he's not a focal point for them, you understand, for when it comes to history in Nigeria. And that's what is painful to watch. Even Mary Slessor, who ended the killing of twins how many years ago, nobody's talking about her. We don't see it in the books anymore. So when there's erasure hundreds of years down the line, and this thing repeats itself, there's nothing to fall back to say, oh, somebody had stopped this, it cannot continue. It's just so unfortunate. With that being said, thank you so much, Emmanuel, for coming on the show today. In 1 minute or half a minute, your final word.
I just urge our listeners to have themselves a fruitful, blessed week, and probably stay out of trouble if you can. Stay out of trouble. Try to stay out of trouble. Trouble doesn't help. Live a peaceful life.
You will not give any Valentine's greeting because the next time we see we have after Valentine's weekend.
Well, maybe I will come with my Valentine package or Valentine's memory based on the fact that I have you as my event planner and then you are planning a date for me.
Thank you all so much for joining us on today's edition of Daily News Review. I'm tired of Emmanuel. Cannot hate him. I don't even know. See you the same time tomorrow at 7:30 for another edition of the Daily News Review. At 9 o'clock is her lens. At 9 o'clock is the news. 9:05 is her lens, and 10 a.m. is Radio Doctor. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to every single caller and every single person who has sent in a text message this morning. Like Emmanuel said, don't do what we don't do. And